I have died 19 times. Some deaths were slow, some violent, some pitiful. But each time my lungs stopped, each time the world dimmed, each time I felt the quiet welcome of oblivion. I returned, not reborn, not resurrected, simply refused by death itself. My name is Rowan Vale. 2 centuries ago, I was a hunter of the occult, a stubborn fool who thought he could bargain with gods and monsters. Now I am something much worse. A man who cannot die and cannot forget. My curse clung to me like frostbite on the soul, numbing everything it touched. I drifted through nations, wars, empires, and ruins, feeling nothing. Faces blurred. Cities faded. Only the pain of returning remained sharp. I avoided vampires for most of my immortal life. Not out of fear. What could they do that the world hadn't already done to me? But out of boredom. Their vanity, their hunger, their endless theatrics, predictable. Eternal beings who pretended at grandeur. But I was wrong about one of them. The night I met Countess Lysandra Voss, I had been wandering through the Carpathian forests, half hoping a bear would tear out my throat so I could enjoy 20 seconds of peace before my curse forced me back. A storm broke overhead, the forest trembling. Through the sheets of rain I saw a crumbling stone bridge, and on it, a carriage with 1 broken wheel and 2 terrified horses. Standing beside it, illuminated by a flash of lightning, was her. Tall, statuesque, draped in a gown blacker than the storm. Eyes the color of fresh blood on snow. Skin like moonlit marble. And a smile, slow, knowing, wicked enough to feel like a finger drawn gently down my spine. She looked at me without fear, without surprise, as if she had been waiting centuries. "You," she whispered, voice like silk dragged across fangs. "You are late." I should have walked away. Everything inside me, every instinct honed by 200 years of loss, told me she was danger shaped like a woman. But something about her gaze snagged on my existence, pulled me in like gravity. "I am not yours," I said. "And I am not late." She stepped closer, rain sliding off her as though it dared not touch her. "You carry a curse," she said softly. "Old, unbroken, and heavy enough to crush a mortal mind." Her hand hovered near my cheek, but did not touch. "If I wanted to kill you," she whispered, "you would not stop me. If I wanted to keep you, you would not escape." Her confidence should have angered me. Instead, it sparked something I hadn't felt in decades. Curiosity. "Who are you?" I asked. She smiled again, slow, predatory, beautiful. "I am Lysandra," she said, "Countess of Voss Keep, sovereign of the Hollow Court." Her eyes glimmered in the storm. "And the only creature in this world who can break your curse." My heart froze. Because in 2 centuries, no vampire, no witch, no oracle had ever said those words. But she spoke them like a promise. Or a seduction. And I, Rowan Vale, the man who could not die, felt something dangerous. Hope. Lysandra's castle rose from the mountains like a clawed hand carved from obsidian. Lightning coiled around its spires as though drawn to her presence. She led me through iron gates that groaned shut behind us. "You're not afraid," she said, glancing over her shoulder. "Of you? Should I be?" "Oh, Rowan," she purred. "Fear makes immortality interesting." Her lips brushed the word immortality, as though savoring it. Inside, the castle was eerie and elegant, cobweb chandeliers, crimson carpets, torches that flickered without heat. A dozen vampires watched us from the shadows, their hunger palpable. Lysandra flicked her hand. "Leave us." They vanished like smoke. We entered a chamber adorned with ancient tomes and crystal decanters filled with dark liquid. "You said you could break my curse," I said. She poured a wine the color of garnets. "I said I am the only creature who can. I never said I would." My jaw tightened. "Then why bring me here?" She approached, so close I felt the whisper of her breath. "Because you interest me." Her fingers traced the air near my throat, never quite touching. "Your soul is fractured." Mended. Fractured again. Over and over. She inhaled deeply. I can smell the deaths on you. Ordinarily, that would unsettle me. But Lysandra observed me with fascination, not malice. As if I were a puzzle she craved to solve. What do you want from me? I asked. Her smile sharpened. Everything. I should have refused. Should have demanded answers. Instead, I stood there, drowning in the scent of her perfume, winter roses crushed under fresh snowfall. You are alone, she whispered. Utterly. Completely. And you have been for far too long. Her words sliced deeper than any blade. Let me offer you a different eternity, she said. One with purpose. With heat. With hunger. She leaned in, lips a breath from mine. Swear yourself to me, Rowan Vale, and I will share my power with you. What kind of power? Power over death. Her eyes gleamed scarlet. Power over your own fate. My pulse stumbled. She tilted her head, fangs brushing her lower lip. And perhaps, she murmured, power over me, should you dare to take it. I had been desired before. Feared, hated, revered. But never like this. Lysandra wanted not my body, nor my blood. She wanted the one thing no one had ever asked for. My existence. Why me? I whispered. Because immortality without passion is torment. Her hand finally touched my cheek. Cold. Soft. Claiming. And you, Rowan, you are starved. Her touch awakened something buried so deep I had forgotten it existed. She kissed me, slow, deliberate, as though tasting centuries of isolation, and I, the cursed immortal, kissed her back with the hunger of a man who hadn't felt alive in 200 years. In that moment, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't seduced by her beauty. I was seduced by what she made me feel. Alive. And for the first time in my long cursed existence, I didn't want to walk away. Lysandra taught me things about immortality I had never known. Not ancient rituals, not arcane symbols, but desire, connection, heat. She showed me what it meant to feel again. We spent nights wandering the moonlit battlements, her cloak brushing mine. Days locked in her library, where she traced the stories etched into my memories with fingertips colder than marble and gentler than prayer. But with intimacy came danger. The other vampires of the Hollow Court watched us, with dark envy. To them, I was curious prey. To Lysandra, I was something different, something forbidden. One night, as she rested her head against my chest, I asked, "Why me? Why risk your power?" She looked up, eyes glowing faintly. "Because your curse is not a burden, Rowan. It is a key." A key to what? To the one thing even a vampire cannot conquer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Death itself. She led me to a hidden crypt beneath the castle. Inside stood an obsidian monolith carved with runes so ancient even her voice trembled when she read them. "This is the Heartstone," she said. "A relic older than vampire kind. Older than humanity." The runes pulsed as I approached. "It responds to me?" I asked. "No," her hand curled around mine. "It responds to your curse." The stone vibrated beneath my touch. Visions exploded behind my eyes. Flashes of every death I had ever endured, every resurrection, every scream, every moment of returning to the cold world. I staggered, gasping. Lysandra caught me. "This curse," she whispered, "was never meant for a mortal." What was it meant for? She hesitated, something I had never seen from her. "For a god," she said. "Or a monster." My blood chilled. "You want to use this," I said. "Use me." "I want to free you," she insisted. "But power demands a price." Her lips brushed my neck, cold fangs grazing warm skin. "To break your curse, Rowan, you must let me bind you to me." Bind me? Body, soul, and eternity. It was a vow older than any marriage, darker than any ritual, a joining of immortal energies. A promise that could elevate us both, or destroy us. "Why risk it?" I asked quietly. Her voice cracked. "Because I have been alone for far longer than you." She touched my face, and for the first time I saw the truth. Lysandra was lonely. Terribly, painfully lonely. just like me. You are mine, she whispered. Not because I command it, because fate has starved us both. She kissed me then, not seductive, not manipulative, but desperately, as if she had waited centuries for someone who understood her hunger. And I realized something with frightening clarity. She had seduced me, claimed me, bound me in ways older than magic. But I wanted it. I wanted her, even if it cost me everything. The ritual took place in the Heartstone chamber. Candles of black wax burned in a circle. The runes glowed with eerie crimson light. Lysandra stood before me in a gown the color of spilled wine, her eyes burning softly. Once this begins, she said, there is no undoing it. I've been undone for centuries, I answered. Let's finish it. She smiled, not wicked, not mocking, but tender. Then kneel, Rowan Vale. I knelt. Lysandra lifted a ceremonial dagger, its blade carved from a fang of the first vampire. She sliced her palm, letting dark, shimmering blood drip onto the heartstone. The monolith pulsed like a beating heart. Your turn, she whispered. I cut my own palm. Blood met blood on the stone, and the chamber erupted with light. Visions slammed into me. Lysandra's past, her loneliness, her centuries of hunger and sovereignty. I saw her battles, her victories, her grief. I saw the indomitable will that had shaped empires in shadow. And she saw me. My deaths. My resurrections. My centuries of empty existence. Tears fell from her eyes, crimson streaks on marble skin. Oh, Rowan, she whispered. How did you endure this alone? The bond snapped into place like a lock turning. Our souls, fractured, cursed, immortal, wove together. Pain seared through my body. My curse writhed, twisting, burning, fighting, but Lysandra held me, arms wrapped around me as if anchoring me to life itself. You are not dying, she murmured. You are becoming. I gasped as the curse unraveled, thread by agonizing thread. Then, silence. Not death. Not return. Just peace. When I opened my eyes, Lysandra knelt beside me, breathing hard, her face pale. Is it done? I whispered. She nodded weakly. You are immortal still, but no longer cursed. Your eternity is your own. I touched her cheek. And you? She laughed softly. Bound to you. Strengthened. Changed. She leaned into my touch, like a woman starved for warmth. What does this make us? I asked. Her smile was slow, beautiful, proud. Eternal partners, she whispered. Rulers of fate. Lovers, for as long as eternity chooses to keep us. She kissed me then, hungry, fierce, and full of promise. And for the first time, since my first death, I felt whole. Not cursed. Not doomed. Not alone. Lysandra whispered against my lips. Come, Rowan. Our eternity awaits. I took her hand. And together, the immortal hunter and the vampire countess stepped into forever, not as monsters, not as legends, but as two souls who had finally found each other.